Okay.
This meeting is being recorded.
Hi, my name is Bashara Reed,
I'm Nicole Happ.
and we're going to be presenting ocean pollution. So, some background. Humans are the largest contributors of plastic and chemical waste. It impacts marine life. The rise in ocean pollution will continue to cause human health issues and affect quality of life. Some of the project goals. So, our goal is to show how ocean pollution affects human health and reveal the sources of ocean pollution. Ocean pollution explained. What is ocean pollution? Ocean pollution is a complex mixture made of mercury, plastic waste, manufactured chemicals, petroleum waste, agriculture runoff, and biological threats, like harmful algal blooms. People are exposed to these toxins mainly by eating contaminated seafood. So, ways to pollute. Non-point source or runoff when pollution is washed into the ocean due to rain and snow. Intentional discharge when manufacturing plants dump into the ocean toxic waste, including mercury. Littering, people littering plastic, styrofoam, etc., and it is carried by wind to the ocean. Oil spills, ships having crude oil spills, and ocean mining. Deep sea drilling for zinc, cobalt, gold, and silver can lead to sulfide deposits. Methodology. Research on the causes and types of ocean pollution, its effects on human health, and its effects on the aquatic ecosystem. Use of 30 journal articles, newspapers, and reports discussing ocean pollution. Significant findings. So, ecosystem. So, in the ecosystem, there's an increase in carbon dioxide absorption cause ocean acidification. It affects coral reefs, shellfish development, production of calcium containing microorganisms, and increases toxicity of some pollutants. Plastic pollution breaks down into micro and nanoplastic particles that contain multiple manufactured chemicals. An increase in pollution and sea surface warming triggers the migration of harmful pathogens. An example includes Vibrio species. These cause for several types of human illnesses.
Environmental. Ocean pollution is widespread and poorly controlled in most countries. Pollution is a complex mixture of toxic metals, manufactured chemicals, urban and industrial waste, and many other factors. Pollution reaches oceans through sources of water, which include rivers, runoff, atmospheric deposition, and direct discharges. Mercury is considered the greatest concern of metal pollutants in the ocean. It is released through coal combustion and small-scale gold mining. Human health. The two ocean pollutants that are most understood are methylmercury and PCBs. Exposure occurs through the consumption of fish and marine mammals. The effects of methylmercury exposure include neurobehavioral toxicity in the brain, which affects the growth. Early exposure in utero is associated with a decrease in motor function, attention span, verbal abilities, and increased risk of ADHD. Adult exposure is associated with a decrease in motor speed, verbal learning, and impaired memory. Increased risk for cardiovascular disease is also an issue. In 2011, the U.S. Environmental Protection Agency concluded that exposure to methylmercury is linked to acute myocardial infarction. Public health implications. Exposure to ocean pollutants can cause an increased risk for cardiovascular disease, an increased risk for dementia, reduced male fertility, damage to the nervous system, and an increased risk for cancer. The global burden of disease estimate of infant morbidity and cognitive disorders due to methylmercury exposure during pregnancy in the US is between 317,000 and 637,000 babies born each year. Practical clinical recommendations. Some of the recommendations are legislative changes with increased regulations for companies on dumping into waterways and more environmentally friendly policies. Increased public knowledge of ocean pollution and its effects, and more use of reusable plastics such as water bottles and reusable utensils. Also opting for organic fertilizers over the normal chemical fertilizers that are typically used, hosting beach cleanups, and behavioral changes among people, including stop the buying of synthetic fabrics, reduce, reuse, and recycle, and dispose of trash properly. Conclusion: ocean pollution is a national and global issue. It can be prevented and reduced in many ways. Some of the recommended policy changes to curb the impact of ocean pollution suggest: 1, restraining plastic demand and enhancing circularity, enhancing recycling, and closing the leakage pathways. Thank you for listening to our presentation.
Thank you.